In the United States, 12.7 million people each year are physically abused, raped, or stalked by their intimate partners. That is more than the population of New York and Los Angeles combined. That's 4 people every single minute. That's across all socioeconomic boundaries and cultures. That's likely someone you know. In fact, according to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, almost half of all murders in Colorado are committed by an intimate partner. In 2014, that was 25 people in Colorado. Studies by the World Health Organization have shown that worldwide, 40 to 70% of all female murder victims are likely killed by an intimate partner, and 1 in 3 women have experienced sexual, physical, emotional, or other abuse in her lifetime. How is it that an issue that is both so close to home and that can also be considered a worldwide epidemic is let slip under the radar? It could be for numerous reasons. A lack of understanding of what an abusive relationship looks like. From an American perspective, you might picture in your mind a buff, scruffy guy in a wife-beater tank top, but that's usually not the case. Or maybe it's the glamorization of manipulation, jealousy, or crazy making in TV shows, movies, the media. Think 50 Shades of Grey, or Gossip Girls, or the relationship between Johnny Depp and Winona Ryder. Or maybe it's just an overall misunderstanding of how to help someone who is in an abusive relationship. When you hear about someone's situation, it's easy to say, wow, that's awful, like, why don't you just leave? Why would you put up with something like that? But in reality, that only makes the issue worse. And you have removed yourself as a person who then they could reach out to and trust. But luckily, there are things that you can do to help in your everyday life. One of those things is to educate yourself and educate your children of what an abusive relationship looks like, the different types of abuse. It can come in many forms, and a lot of times emotional and mental abuse is just as harmful as physical abuse or other types of abuse that come to mind, and can have a lot of strong, lasting impact. It's also recognizing the red flags in an abusive relationship and understanding the circle of power and control, and understanding how another person can really manipulate someone in such a way that they lose all of their personal freedom. The other thing you can do is to learn how to communicate and help someone who is in an abusive relationship. And a lot of times that can be as simple as understanding the difference between sympathy and empathy. If you haven't went and seen the video by Brené Brown on empathy, I highly encourage you to do so. But basically, it can be the difference between looking at having someone share with you something about their personal life and saying, "Whew, that's really, wow, I just don't even know what to say right now. I'm just really happy that you told me." Versus saying, "Wow, that's really rough. I mean, good luck with that. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help." A lot of times it's just being that trusting person for them and someone that they can rely on, that isn't going to tell them what to do and further exert power and control onto them, but more acting as a safety raft that they can reach out to when they're sinking underwater. And lastly, you can help local organizations in our community. So luckily, on our bright side, there are 59 nonprofits in Colorado that help to address the issue of domestic violence in many different ways, either by providing a safety shelter, advocacy work, or educating the community on abusive relationships. Specifically in Fort Collins, we have an organization called Crossroads Safe House, and they provide all of those services to everyone in our community. So I would encourage you to reach out. No matter what your skill set is, what you're interested in doing, there is a way that you can help the organization. Whether it's providing donations that would go into the boutique that victims will go and shop for clothes in when they come to the shelter with nothing, or whether it's going into local high schools and helping support the youth advocates that are educating their peers on abusive relationships and how to have healthy relationships in their life. So even though the statistics are bleak, there is something that everyone can do, and I encourage all of you to walk out of this room, educate yourselves, and become advocates against the epidemic of domestic